able to do this pod without asking about the Derek Carr situation. How difficult of a decision was that, especially late in the year, knowing that he was, he's been the Raiders guy for, I think, 9 years.
Yeah.
Can you speak on that situation a little bit?
Yeah. I would, that a decision like that, it's a tough decision. And like you said, there's a lot of emotion involved in that decision too. And I would say one, like, you spent time with Derek Carr, and Derek Carr is a phenomenal human being. It's hard not to like Derek Carr. And it's hard not to like Derek Carr, not just because he has a great personality, he's kind, he's caring, he's respectful, all of that different stuff. But he also, like you said, he was with the Raiders for 9 years, playing arguably the most difficult position to play in all of sports. The quarterback's a tough position to play, in totality. And so, yeah, so to see a guy that's played, he's played the 9 years for the same organization, and having to make a decision like that, there's a lot of emotion that's involved in having to make that decision, and it's a hard decision to make. And at the end of the day, like, that's what we get paid to do too, is make hard decisions. And we have to make a lot of hard decisions throughout the year. I mean, that's the most high profile one, but there was a lot of decisions throughout the year that were hard decisions to make, whether it was, making a decision with John Abram or, Alex Leatherwood. Again, all those decisions are hard decisions. Like we talked about at the beginning, one, because it's someone's livelihood. You know what I mean? And people that are really dedicated to their craft too. And so they're all hard, and they're all decisions you don't want to have to make. And again, I think that one was even a little bit more difficult because of what he's meant to the Raider organization and just who he is as a human being.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like it also speaks to, like, earlier before the pod, you kind of talk about your philosophies of, like, getting in your spot and having the perspective that you have, that whole, like, the fear of failure, like not being able to have that close to you, because I'm sure a decision like that was obviously a huge one. Like, the external noise out there, everybody questioning stuff, why this late, all this stuff. It's kind of one of those things where you're, being true, I guess, yourself in that philosophy of, like, this is a very difficult decision, but I'm going to go with my gut here and, move forward with it.
Yeah, those are, I mean, like I said, those are,
because I'm sure it's like a fire. You immediately kind of feel like you kind of hear it all, whether or not you want to separate it. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is going to be massive once it gets out.
yeah, and I'd be lying if I said you don't hear it all. You know what I mean? Or most of it, like, you do. It's hard not to hear, on any of the decisions that you make. And so, yeah, you just got to trust. You got to trust your gut, and you have to be convicted on the decisions that you make, and have a plan and a reason for doing it. And I'm not going to get into all that, but there's a plan and a reason for every decision, and like, ultimately you have to feel like you're making the best decision for the Raiders, whether it's, in the short term or the long term. And ultimately that's what we did in that situation.
Yeah.
Man, this has been an outstanding podcast.
It has. You feel like it elevates the expectation at all when you make a decision like that? It's like, all right, well, now we need to figure out what our next moves are. Whether or not,
Yeah.
and again, you're like, I can't go too far into it because it's not like you're going to say what your decisions are going to be. But you make a move like that, it's like, all right, boys, we made this decision.
Yeah.
Let's figure out the way that we make sure we end up being right about this.
Yeah, that's the reality of it, because it's the quarterback.
Right.
It's the most important position on the team. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
And so, like, like, at the end of the day, like, I'm in charge of myself, and our group, we're in charge of filling the most important position on the team. And so, yeah, there's some pressure that comes along with that, and however we fill it, it doesn't mean we're going to have an immediate answer, this year. You know what I mean? And so, but at the end of the day, we have to have an answer.
Right.
In some form or fashion, and so, yeah, there's pressure that comes along with it. And again, that's also part of the excitement too, is that pressure, is finding that guy. And that'll be the next task.